Well, aloha and welcome. Thank you for coming to today's very special podcast. My name is Paul Fletcher, and this is The Healing Source. Today, we have a very special guest. She'll be helping us in the form of a healing demonstration. This is season 2, and today's episode is on Tao healing for the emotions. And in today, we're going to be focusing on the emotion of fear. So I guess this is episode number 5 in this series. Now, if you are new, one of the aspects of Tao healing is that it can be used in person or remotely. It can be used to help transform physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, financial, or relationship issues. It can bless just about any aspect of life. And the reason why it can make such a profound difference in people's lives is because it is based on transforming the negative messages, information, and accumulation of messages people have received in this and all lifetimes. So many of us, through life, we acquire negative thoughts via our own negative thinking, or we can accumulate them from outside of us by parents or peers or teachers or coworkers giving us information that is not supportive of our highest wellness and our highest energy. And so Tao wisdom, Tao means source for those of you that are new, Tao wisdom shares that we are souls, and our souls live forever. You and I, the personality, does not. So the soul carries within its vessel or on its auric field, if you will, all of the positive and all of the negative thoughts, words, and actions from this lifetime and all lifetimes. So today we're focusing on emotions, and in this case, the emotion of fear. So you have probably experienced fear at some point in your life. I know I have. And it's not a very pleasant experience. And it's even more unpleasant when it sticks around and it just gnaws at us and creates conditions where it's hard for us to have positive thoughts. The Tao wisdom shares that the reason why that is so predominant and so hard to get rid of is because that emotion, that vibration of fear is actually residing on your aura. It's with you at the level of soul. It's not necessarily something that's a one-off experience. If you think about a phobia, right? You think about people that have long-standing fears, fear of being attacked. Why would they have a fear of being attacked? Especially if it's never happened in their life. Probably because in a previous lifetime they were. Therefore, it's a negative memory that their soul is holding on to. So there's many different places fear can come from. Some people are just fearful of water or spiders or snakes or whatever it is. So these fears usually have a traumatic root, or it could be from a different source. What do you mean by a different source? Well, if you have attended the previous Wellspring teachings on this, where in the previous podcasts I have shared with you, the root cause of all success and all failure in life is our thoughts, words, and actions, as just shared, not only from this lifetime, but from all lifetimes. So if you have fear on your vibration, but you're a relatively, good person and you haven't done anything to create fear in others, why is it there? The ancient wisdom shares that it's there because you or your ancestors created fear in others. They could have had fear of a loss of a job or fear of losing their life. They could have had any number of fears because of thoughts, words, or actions that had been pointed towards them. And as has been shared in previous episodes, this is a form of quantum entanglement, a form of mixed vibration where if I'm the creator or the instigator of that, and then somebody else experiences something unpleasant, we now have quantum entanglement, me and that person. It's in my field, it's in their field. So this then goes a long way to explain how when we can have an unpleasant emotion in our life that doesn't seem to go away, that explains how it got there. Okay, it could be from our own actions in this life, by bringing ourselves into conditions or traumas or experiencing things, or it could be from other times where we had caused those conditions upon others, and then it's within our field, and it shows itself. Now, in every case, Tao healing addresses things from a very positive stance. What we want to do is not only point out what the origination is, we want to empower a person to be able to transform that. Uh, because when that negative vibration comes to your aura, when it comes to your soul, it's very much like trying to shake off a flea that's locked in. It's very difficult sometimes because the experience came to you for a reason. And that reason is to be able to transform it with love, light, and forgiveness. This is the highest wisdom. Otherwise, why wouldn't it just leave? If we have caused fear upon another, then our experiencing of fear is like a beacon of light saying, hey, pay attention to me. I want to give you this beautiful opportunity to heal. You may have created this emotion you're not enjoying in another. And if you can acknowledge that, and you can ask forgiveness, and you can recognize that this is probably why it's on your field, then you can use love and light to transform it much, much faster. So hopefully that gives you a really solid foundation as to how emotions such as fear can occur on our field, and then manifest into our environment, as well as what we can do to transform it, which is what I'm going to go into next. So I'm going to invite in a guest. Her name is Ilona, and Ilona has graciously agreed to join us. We're both going to hear her story around the fear that she is experiencing at this point in time. So please help me to welcome our guest, Ilona. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Paul, for honor to be here, for inviting me. Yes, I think I'm a prime suspect of huge fear in my life. I was born with it, and it made me afraid of living, afraid of dying, all sorts of things. And especially around the Christmas, it's so severe. It happened last year, happened this year, where I literally experienced physical pain in my kidneys, like prior to months uh, before I started on the membership program. I could not sleep. My kidneys was in agony, and it's so much better. So right now I'm just afraid of. Also, it affects my gums, my tinnitus. I'm afraid that my gums disappear, my face will disappear. It's just,
Wow.
it's just crazy.
We hope your face doesn't disappear. We don't want that. So, so you said that it's been almost since you were born. It feels like you've been in a state of fear. Um, Give us just a little more background on that.
I had a mother who was not experiencing love for herself, so I was raised with absolutely no love. And I was so afraid of her. I'm afraid to do good things, I'm afraid to do bad things because I know I will be punished. So that's like, mother is like your God. So eventually I afraid of God. So even I pretended God doesn't exist.
Wow.
That's how you survive, how you do. Yes, especially society, former Soviet Union,
Hmm.
where God had to be hidden. So that
Hmm.
worked very well with the society. And yes, so when you are in teenage years, you cover it with drinks, with alcohol, with doing all these things,
Right.
and then eventually it comes back. So it's like sweeping under the carpet, and then this carpet disappears, and
Yeah.
all fears coming out.
Now you
Yeah.
have to address it. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
And have and you don't. I don't want to poke. I just want to gently ask: have you tried anything from the Western model or approach to deal with this?
No.
Okay. Okay. Because some people, they might take a pharmaceutical or something like that to address it. And, there's a difference between fear and anxiety. would you say you are more fear-based with some of your
I'm more
actions?
fear. Yes.
Okay, okay. Just wanted to clarify that because some people think it's the same. So you mentioned, for example, fear of teeth, gums, fear of losing your face. Anything else that's present right now?
The biggest for me was always fear of authority.
Okay. And
So
that's still predominant when you have a boss or something. Is that still kind of present?
that's so much lesser, so
Oh,
lessened. Yes.
okay. And what would you say has helped it to be less?
The knowledge, applied knowledge from Tao science, from Tao Academy, the practices, the knowledge is like fear. It's not real.
Okay.
It
So
doesn't
you've
even real.
and so for many of the listening audience, they might not realize that you've been practicing the Tao healing wisdom and methods, and I think you've received some Tao healing for this over the course of time. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
So from before, let's say before, just for understanding purposes, was a 10 on a 10 scale, and then now you've received some Tao healing. Where are you at now in a general sense?
So I definitely right now maybe 5.
Okay, so about 50% of your overall
Yes.
fear-based, processes since birth has been reduced that much.
Yes.
It's pretty good. For a lot of people, we actually, um, it gets worse over time. A lot of people just get worse and worse and worse, and they try this doctor and this pharmaceutical, and it doesn't get better. But yours has improved over time. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a little bit about the healing that I'm going to offer Ilona at this time. And what I'm going to offer her is what's called a crown chakra blessing. Now, a crown chakra blessing is pretty much what it sounds like, but the delivery of it is quite unique. As a certified master teacher, trained through the Tao Academy, and having trained with Dr. Master Sha for about 15 years now, I have received multiple authorities, one of them being what's called a crown chakra blessing. It's a transmission of the most pure positive frequency and vibration to help negate or minimize or basically erase aspects of the negative information that resides with Ilona regarding these fears. Okay. Now, I've also taught in previous classes and previous sessions about the nature of the 5 elements, very, very briefly. But in this season 2, I think it was the second or third episode, I talked on the 5 elements. So go back and listen to that if you missed it. And again, if you're new, make sure you sign up for my podcast, like and subscribe. The links are in the chat, and you can also go to my website, wellspringoflight.com. So this being a water element, according to ancient wisdoms, water element has associations with kidneys. It has associations with our sense of hearing, obviously emotion of fear. It also affects our urinary bladder, and it can affect our bones. And you heard Ilona talking about, she worried about her jaw and her teeth. So one can ascertain with just a limited amount of information, excuse me, that there may be some weakness in her kidneys. They're probably being negatively impacted. And obviously her bones are being negatively impacted. And so what I will be offering her is a crown chakra blessing to bring healing to her water element and to bring balance to the imbalanced emotion of fear. So when I work privately with my clients, we have private one-on-one consultations. Sometimes I do 1 session, sometimes it's 3, 5, or 10 sessions, depending upon what that person needs. And we set up the consultations where they get healing every time. And what happens is they get better and better and better, and pretty soon those concerns are significantly minimized to where they're no longer need to come to me, or they're just resolved entirely. So this is the nature of Tao healing. It deals with the root cause at the level of the origination point, the negative information that's on the vibration, and then the positive information that's just like it's like a 10,000 tons of water, just waterfall just coming down through her crown and washing away the negativity. How do we know it works? Well, we're going to ask her, but we also know because we've been doing this for 20, 30 years now with high level of efficacy. So if you would like one yourself, then contact me. Be happy to deliver you a crown chakra blessing. Let's invite back in Ilona. Are you ready to receive?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so close your eyes. Everybody who's watching, you may receive a splash, it's called, so the frequency can come to you as well. So you can privately ask for a blessing as well. You just tell heaven, I'd love to receive some blessing to help balance my emotions as well. I will now activate this crown chakra blessing and start. This will be a 2-minute blessing. So just prepare. I'm going to walk you through a simple forgiveness practice because this is part of the nature of healing. So please repeat it silently after me. And dear the source, my creator, and dear all humanity and all animals, all souls, I wish to deeply apologize if in this or any lifetime I or my ancestors caused you to experience fear. I'm so sorry. I would not want these unpleasant emotions to affect anybody. But if we have made this unpleasant mistake, I sincerely apologize and wish you to know I do not cause fear upon other people, and I have learned my lessons. I would be deeply grateful if you could forgive me. Thank you. I also wish to extend my unconditional forgiveness to all souls that may have created fear in my environment, including my mother, any authoritarian figures, and anyone in all lifetimes that may have created fear in my energy. I forgive you. Please forgive me if I have created this in your environment. Thank you. Okay. So this assists in helping the healing to be much more potent. Prepare to receive. Everybody to receive a splash. Close your eyes. Receive the light. Ilona, this blessing is just for Ilona, but sometimes the splash can affect other people. Tao, order. Crown chakra blessing. Kuan Yin, level 1. 2, Ilona, Redfern. 4, healing the imbalanced emotion of fear, boosting and healing her kidneys, and balancing as appropriate any aspects of the water element that are affecting this fear. The entire blessing needs to be as appropriate. Start. This is a silent blessing, so just enjoy this for the 2 minutes. I will share a little bit of what I'm seeing. There's like a heavenly liquid that has come to Ilona, and it is washing what looks to me like frayed nerves, but they're not what you might see in a medical drawing. It's more like red little fires all over her body, and they're extremely sensitive. So if anything rubs up against them, they become a little bit more agitated. And this special healing spiritual water, is the best way I can put it, is not only quenching these fires, but it is changing their shape and causing them to, before to me, they look like little fire trees, and now they look like little green sprouts. So they're being altered. And the message I'm hearing is the unpleasant message that each of them represent has been changed to calm and peace. And these new sproutlings of calm and peace are everywhere now. It's much more like a white opaque field now, or whole body, whereas before it had all these little red fires everywhere, and all these little green sproutlings, just thousands and thousands of them are everywhere. I see her kidneys have huge light radiating into both of them, so there is great strength coming there. There's a lot of negative information down in the Kundalini area, and so their light is surrounded that. But I can see that this blessing will be insufficient to address that at the levels that are needed. That area has a significant amount of negative information in it that would need to be addressed with further practice, further blessings. And then in the brain, there is also some negative information that is trying to be addressed, but it's also quite a bit in that area as well. Those two areas show to be the weakest. There is a little bit behind the heart, reflecting blockages in the heart center, but it's a much lighter cloud versus the heavier stuff in the brain and in the Kundalini area. And Ilona knows this. She's worked with her whole vessel and everything for a while. So blessing ends. Ha, ha, ha. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. So let's check in with Ilona and see how this experience was for her, if she had any sensations or feelings or emotions or anything that might have shifted. Ilona, please share.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's divine. That's totally divine. Oh my gosh. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful, Guanyin. Yes, very much so. Everything you said, it was true. It started with the immense fire and heat in my sacral area, coming up into kidneys and stuck into my Mingmen point. So it was kind of at the same time happening in my brain as well and going down the spine. Wow. That's, yes, even it felt like a kind of honey, kind of liquid pouring down all my spine. Wow, that's amazing.
I have myself muted there. Yeah, it was, it was a Kuan Yin crown chakra blessing. So she poured her vase over you, and it's like it was almost soothing a fire, which is interesting because it's a water element imbalance, but I was shown it like afraid, like a fire, right? And it was just and I could just it was not a cooling as much as it was a soothing. Yeah, quite profound. The how they showed it to me. And if anybody is watching live, we have about 20 of you here. You're welcome to post what you might have seen with your third eye if you did see anything. And so when you check in with your current fear registry, what would you say you're at this point?
Right now I'm at peace, still enjoying the heat and the workings of the blessing. So I don't think about anything right now. I'm empty.
Yeah, that's a good space, right? Emptiness is a very good thing. But yeah, do pay attention to the messages about how there's a lot going on up here in the brain and in the Kundalini. And for those that are new and not familiar with these Tao wisdoms, I share a lot of this through my programs at Wellspring of Light. But to expand just a little bit, the Kundalini is a very important and powerful energy sensor, and it feeds and nourishes the kidney, the third eye, and the brain. It's also the starting point for many of our major meridians, including the Ren, Du, Dai, and Chang meridians, and it's the base of the Chang Mai. So we have this channel that goes to the center of the body that there's a spiral that comes right off this Kundalini area. So much more connected to that. And the simple version of this is that when we empower this area, the Kundalini, it can help release a lot of the negative information that can gather there over many, many lifetimes. Sometimes what's in there is spiritual blockages from the mistakes we might have made in our soul journeys and other times. So I want to read one or two of the things that I see here. I see Helen May Chen says, congratulations. She saw light going from your crown chakra all the way down to your soul houses. Lots of light went to your kidneys. Blockages were being removed, and your kidneys are full of light. And Terry saw something. He says, wow, both my kidneys began to vibrate. And then I saw and began to glow with this slight gold incandescent light. Then the images of the kidneys grew larger and then started radiating light throughout his own body. And that was from the splash. So congratulations on that to both of you. Thank you for posting. So I want to thank you, Ilona, for coming to today's session. And for those of you, I'm going to go ahead and put you on the side here, Ilona, and we'll talk a little bit afterwards if you have time. And for those that are, let me just do this. For those that are just stumbling across this live stream podcast, this is called The Healing Source. And I started this about 12 weeks ago, and it'll be a 6 series and then more after that, but 6 has been decided. And the first 8 in this series 1 was, what is the nature of Tao healing? We're now in the second series and podcast number 5. And I'm working with the emotions now, so you can understand how Tao healing affects the emotions. Next week, we're going to be focusing on an entirely new emotion. I haven't decided yet. It could be grief or sadness. It could be anger. It could be depression, anxiety. So if you have any of those emotions and you'd like to be a demonstration like Ilona, then make sure you contact me, paul@wellspringoflight.com. And you can also find my information in the description area. I have my contact information there as well. Okay, so I encourage you and invite you to learn more about Tao healing. Come to my website, wellspringoflight.com. There are many programs and many ways in which you can transform the areas of blockage that you're experiencing at the root. So there's really no reason to suffer any longer when this kind of healing is available to you. I want to thank our friend Ilona for coming in today. I want to thank all of you for joining me live. And please spread this with others. It's not that I need that. It's that they need to know that this form of healing and this type of wisdom is available. There are thousands of educators and students that have trained under the Tao Academy worldwide. They can explain this just as well as I can. They can offer healing just as well as I can. So I don't have an agenda to you working with me. I have an agenda that you learn more about Tao healing so you could stop your suffering. So until next week, I'll be back here again. Hope some of you can be one of my demonstration people, and we'll see you then. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.